Chandler.
Those girls got Chandler.
Oh, they got. I feel like this is.
I feel like we're probably gonna break the iPad this class.
Do it for the 8th.
Think so?
Yeah.
Probably.
Make sure it's
my God.
done by the 8th.
No, because I don't have any.
Did anyone see how creepy that looks?
Yeah.
That one looks creepy.
Oh, that TV.
TV, I probably just knocked it, sorry. I probably knocked the what you call it.
Don't get scared, Kathy.
It's like a horror movie.
This looks like a scary movie.
You're saying it looks like a happy now?
Can I just ask when we got that TV? Because I don't remember it.
We walked in yesterday and I was like, was that always there?
Yeah, it's always there. It's been there before these ones.
Hush, Will. President. Not us.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. Okay, so what did we do on Thursday? What's that?
He doesn't want to pour it yet. Oh yeah, it's flaking. Yeah.
What did we do on Thursday?
No, let's see on there.
What's that?
Bag valve.
Bag valve, oxygen. What else did we do? And we learned how to roll. So, if we are faced with a person
Both their nose.
who is face down,
We need a hairdo.
what were the mechanics that we needed to do to get them to flip? First person comes and stabilizes the head. As soon as that first person comes and stabilizes the head, what becomes that person?
The leader.
Okay, they are in charge. So I'm going to say, Caitlin, get your butt over here. Amy, Diana. Okay. So I'm going to say, we are need to roll this athlete. So I want everybody on this side of the athlete. Why do I want them on this side of the athlete?
More space to roll that way.
Okay, there's more space to roll that way. Okay. I want someone to slowly move their arm down. Okay. Now remember, when I'm in this position, if we are going to rotate them or turn them over, my hands have to be what?
Crossed.
They have to be crossed, right? So when I'm in this position, if I'm going to roll, I have to roll with them, right? So I'm going to hold on to her head this way. And then I'm going to tell Caitlin to grab her shoulder and hip. I'm going to say Diana interlace. Okay, I'm going to say Amy interlace Diana. Okay, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. We're going to go halfway. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3 down. Okay. Okay. And so now we're down. Now we're able to assess airway, open the airway, make sure that we don't have any other things that we need to do. The one thing that you did notice is that as we were flipping them, I ended up like this, so then I would have to reposition myself as long as I kept stabilization of her head. Or his head, whichever you want to call this young, strappy person. Okay, so you never know. Okay, so that's how we are going to turn them. Now, what happens if we need to turn them and spine board them? Okay, so this is going to be our first experience in spine boarding. So go ahead and grab the spine board.
What if their arm was fractured? Would you move it?
If their arm is fractured, you still have to move it if it's a life-threatening situation. If their arm is fractured and it's a non-life-threatening situation, you would leave them on their stomach and you would stabilize the arm by either splinting it or just someone else holding it. Since we saw that wonderful video.
Would you still log roll them?
You would only log roll them if you need to get into their airway or provide life-saving techniques. The other thing, you wait for EMS. When EMS gets there, you're still in control of the head, but they'll take over the scene. Does that make sense? So they will work on the patient. Then when they get ready to flip, you'll be in charge. All right. So when we are going to spine board, now traditionally there's very few athletic sites that actually spine board anymore. If there's a head and neck injury, what happens is we call EMS. EMS comes on the site and we let them spine board. We are still in control of the head, but we still have the people that spine board every day assist us with spine board. And the reason why, how many people in this room in athletics has practiced spine boarding at all? Not lifeguard. In
That's
athletics.
athletics, that could be swimming. No.
But I meant in athletics.
Recreational.
Okay, you did recreational spine boarding. Okay. So that's an important aspect. If you guys have never spine boarded before, what happens when someone says, okay, go get the spine board? And all of a sudden you're like, where is
I don't
it?
even know where it is.
Do we have a spine board? Do we spine board? How do we spine board? Where are the straps? What do the straps do? Where do the straps go? There's a big tibia thing, who knows? So that's why it's imperative that if we have the equipment wherever you are located at, that you practice it, and you practice it religiously. If you're not going to do it, then you work with your community base. If they're going to spine board, then it's probably a good idea to have an in-service with the EMS personnel that is going to be your home site for sending injured athletes. So here, it'd be St. Joe. We would call the medical director at St. Joe for the emergency room. We would say, can we have some EMS individuals come over, or even themselves will come over because it's a university, and they'll say, let's work out a plan. How are we going to do this? If you're working at a football game at high school, usually there's EMS on site. Okay, in Michigan High School Athletic Association, it's required that they have EMS on site. If you're the athletic trainer, your first probable cause of spine boarding would be utilizing them. And so what you would need to do in the very beginning is what?
Talk to them.
You would need to go over there and communicate to them and say, okay, if something should happen on field, these are my signals. If I need you to come on the field, this is what I'll do. Now, sometimes there will be a tug of war there on when they respond or how they respond. There have been cases where an athletic trainer goes out on the field, is evaluating somebody, and a crazed fan calls 911 from her phone. Okay, usually it's a mom. They'll call 911, and all of a sudden 911 shows up at the field, and it was an abrasion fingernail. Okay? So we have to make sure that wherever, in whatever location we have this emergency action plan, this emergency planning, everybody knows who you are and what you're capable of doing. And then who we're going to work with in that relationship. Okay? So, first thing we do is we have a spine board. Our person is face down. Now, the smartest thing to do with a spine board, when we're rolling an individual, is actually roll it, put it up just a little bit higher than their head. And I'll explain that in a second. We're going to have someone control the spine board, and then someone help control the roll. So I need one more person, Will. Okay? I'm not going to go there.
Alright.
So go and pretend like pick up the spine board and get on the other side of Diana.
Run away, be free, Will.
So we're going to say that we have a head and neck injury. I have control of the head. And I'm going to say we're going to need to spine board this individual. They're conscious, they're breathing, but they say they have very severe pain right in their neck in one spot. So we're going to spine board them. So again, I'm going to have 3 people assist me. Caitlin, Amy, and Diana. Okay? But now I had to say, Will, go get the spine board. So Will is going to go get the spine board. And he's going to slide it right in. Okay? Now, here is the dilemma. Do I want these individuals to reach across the spine board? No. So they're going to have to go ahead and kneel right on the spine board. Okay? I still have this. I'm going to say we need to position her arm. Don't move the athlete.
I'm trying not to, but it's not a real
It's
person.
plastic. Okay. Grab the shoulder. Interlace. Diana. And then Amy. Okay? We're going to roll up halfway on 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? She's pretty light, huh? And then you guys reposition yourself and down. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And she slides 3. Okay, so this you can see, I'm going to let go of the head. You can see here that now we've left a nice space here. So what's going to happen is, I'm going to say then we're going to have to slide her up a little bit. Okay? You're going to see that if I'm in control of the spine board, I have my knee right at the spine board, or actually right on the spine board so it doesn't move. I'm going to say we need someone, Caitlin, grab the shoulders. Diana, grab the hips. And on 3, we're going to slide her right straight up. 1, 2, 3. Stop. Okay? And so we placed her in position. Now what happens is if we leave the spine board in this position here, okay, and we're rolling around, we have to do what? We have to go down and then back up. Okay, we'll have to do 2 movements. That's why it's always better to start the spine board a little bit higher on the individual. Okay, after we get them on the spine board, everybody, we still have control of the head. Caitlin, take control of the head. Okay. What we need to do now is we need to fill in voids of the body, but we also then need to strap her onto the spine board. Okay, the nice thing is, if you look at these straps, they have labels on them. Okay, so this says pelvis, right? So when we look at this spine board, this is going to go right next to the pelvis, and what you're going to do is you're going to find the opening in the area of the pelvis, right where you're going to then slide this, and that's why there's a incline on it. And she doesn't have much of a pelvis, just so you know. Go ahead and hold it here. Okay? All right? And so what you'll see is that we're going to tighten down. Of course, she's so skinny. Go ahead and slide out that way just a little bit more. Okay? We push that one down. And then we have this one. Okay? This one is for the femur. Okay? And so it would then
How many her eyeballs?
okay, this one is for the chest. Sorry, she's nipping. Woo! Sorry. Now, this is interesting because you'll see here, if you look at where we can actually come across the chest, the hole here has a plastic thing right through it. Okay? So, we would go down to the one below. Okay? Now it becomes the dilemma, what do we do with the hands? Do the hands go in or the hands go out? Okay? We cross them in front of her. Okay? And actually, the nice thing about this is we can strap them right into there. If they're bigger people, then what you do is then we just take them together.
This is terrifying.
What's that? You can put them that way if you needed to. But as you can see, this femur, we're going to actually spine board ourselves where it'll fit. But see, this is where the dilemma comes in, is now we need one to go up across the chest. Okay? So we use the upper tibia one, except this is going to be too short.
I have a question.
What?
Why wouldn't you tuck her? Why wouldn't you put her hands in here?
You can, but if we do this, if we tuck our hands in like that, okay, then we have to worry about what if we need to take blood pressure. What if we need to take pulse and those types of things. So you don't want to do that. Okay, so let's move this one up, and I'll show you when we move this one up. Let me show you what happens in terms of where this strap goes. Okay? This one goes around the neck. So, again, what do we do in this case? We can't switch them because whatever we put up here is still going to go around her neck. What we can do is when we know we have a shorter person, you don't bring her up so high, so then this spot will be right at the chest. The other thing too is that's why we have these other straps. Okay. These work just like a seat belt. Okay? And these will actually hook right where?
On the
Plastic.
Right on the little white plastic hook thing. Okay? And so now Diana will pull it through. And now we have our young lady or gentleman. And then what we would do is we would take a roll of tape.
Looks like we're taking our hostage.
You are taking her hostage. And then we can go ahead and roll tape around her arms, to hold her arms. And that's only if she's what?
I know. I was like, this isn't working.
Okay? That's if she's unconscious. Okay? Now, what do we do with the head? You need to fill in the void. Okay? You need to fill in the void. Then we have these other little straps. We did. One that will go right over the head, Diana. And then we have another one that would go. What do you do?
She broke it.
Very swirly.
She's moving around. I think she's conscious now. She's on paper.
Then we can put another one.
It wasn't equal, and I was trying to fix it, and then that happens.
Apparently. And then we want to go to the chin.
This is state of the art, Will.
Okay? Then we go to the chin. If we didn't have these straps, what could we use?
Tape.
Tape. You would just go ahead and then use the tape and taper down. Okay? Alright. So these are the different straps. Okay, there's short ones, there's seat belts, and then there's these Velcro straps. Personally, I like the seat belt ones better with these plastic, because then you can make sure you can put them anywhere along the spine board. Does that make sense? Okay. You have a better opportunity to seize the person where you need to seize them. Okay. Where if we use the Velcro straps can only go into the bigger handle areas, and sometimes that makes it more difficult if we have a smaller area. The overall wise thing is that if you were to get a spine board with these big thick straps, I would then also get a couple of the seatbelt straps just to have along with you as well. And that way you can ensure that when you're spine boarding, the spine board is secure enough for that patient to be on. Okay, now this is with a cervical neck injury. Let's say if we have a fractured leg. Would we still spine board?
Maybe not all of this.
You would still spine board them if you needed to move them. Does that make sense? Okay, they would still spine board them. That's if they couldn't stand them. Obviously, you're with a fractured leg, upper leg, you're not going to stand them.
Even all of
Okay, but they probably wouldn't strap them all the way down, secure, and they would have a scoop spine board or a scoop board, which we'll show later, which when they get underneath, that way they can lift them onto the gurney. Okay, 'cause more times than not, you see them carted out on the gurney than you do on a spine board. The only time you see them on a spine board getting carted off is really when they are head and neck injury.
Like, let's say that you did spine board someone for like a leg fracture or something like that. Would you mainly just do
Jeez.
the Like maybe like one around their chest or stomach and then one like
Yeah, you still want to
body.
secure them to the spine board so they don't fall off.
But you wouldn't do like obviously the head and
Right.
everything.
Okay? So what we're going to do today is that we're each going to just have fun and we're going to play around the spine board and we're going to play around with different straps. Okay? So each spine board, there's, how many people we have here? 11? We can do 3 spine, well let's do 2 spine boards because I only have straps for 2 spine
Maybe
boards.
the head.
Okay?
Oh my god.
You guys can do the iron duck. Very fast.